Hello everyone, I have super exciting news today. I am happy to let you guys know that GreenStalk has actually gifted me two brand new GreenStalks, two brand new original GreenStalks to replace my older ones, the ones that I have that are in the discontinued colors, so the red and the brown. So instead of those now I'm going to have the beautiful green, the evergreens one, which is going to be a permanent color for them. So I'm very excited for this because I thought the green would look very nice against the green fence. My GreenStalks are gonna live on the other side, but they go against the green fence too, so I thought that would look nice. And I'm very excited. That was actually perfect timing because I really had to start planting these guys. My Brassicas seedlings are getting way too big for their containers, so we're gonna plant them all today. They have been fully acclimated. I'm gonna leave some space on some of the GreenStalk too for some newer things that I just started acclimating. So they got me two. I have two in the same color, the green. I thought it would look a little nicer in the backyard that way. And I'm going to set up one today with my Brassicas in my full season. Since it's still cold here in New York City, notice that I'm wearing a jacket, got cold again. And I'm only going to set up my second one in May, a little bit later in the season, because I'm setting them up with peppers, and peppers like the heat. They do better if they're transplanted outside when the weather is hot. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit more for that. It's important to know that when you're filling them up, you want to fill all the way up to the top as much as you can. I have used the Fox Farms Happy Frog soil again, and each of these tiers here take about 1 cubic feet of soil. And for these guys over here, I'm also going to use a slow release fertilizer. I'm planting brassicas in here, cauliflower and broccoli and stuff, and they can be a bit of heavy feeders. I have had very small cauliflowers in the past, and my cauliflower is not doing very well this year already, so I decided that I'm going to give them a really good head start. And I'm also going to add some extra slow release fertilizer just in case I forget to fertilize them weekly, which sometimes happens. So I'm using this all-purpose vegetable garden fertilizer, very well balanced. They would do well with the higher nitrogen too, but this is what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to sprinkle a bit on the top. Then I'm going to mix it in with the soil before I add the plants in here and water them. If I had compost, I would add compost, but I don't. I usually get it from the Queen's Botanical Garden from the city, but they're only going to give it a little bit later in April or mid-April this year, so maybe I'll add some extra compost to the pockets by then. For now, we're gonna use this slow release organic fertilizer. So I'm going to quickly just mix it around with the soil, and it's supposed to be well watered in, so I'm going to water this tiers after I add the starts, and then water again using the watering system once I stack them up. I usually like to water anyway before I stack them up because the soil usually comes out of the bag so dry. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my starts. So I have all of these brassicas in here. As I mentioned, my cauliflower is not doing the greatest. I don't know what I did wrong, but they were started at the same time as everybody else, and they're the only ones who are not doing very great. So I'm gonna try to plant them anyway and see what happens. I heard that cauliflower can be finicky, so we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. They're so tiny compared to these guys, but I'm still gonna try to plant them. There are 30 pockets on that new GreenStalk, so I'm also planning to plant some of these guys, but these here are not properly acclimated yet. I have started acclimating them when I heard that I was going to get the other GreenStalk, but I need to acclimate them for at least a few more days before I plant. But I wanted to take it out here to show you guys how they look, and then we're going to be leaving some space to put them in. And today I'm going to plant all of these guys here that need to get planted as soon as possible. In this thing here, I think the pansies are acclimated, so I can still plant the pansies in there. I like to always add a little bit of flowers in between things and herbs if I can, just to make it a little bit more diverse and interesting. I have some mint in here that I'm debating if I'll plant there or not. If I will, it has to be in the bottom pocket because mint's very aggressive and spreads like crazy, so if you put them in the top pockets, the roots will go down and root in the other containers, so definitely that has to be in the bottom. But you have to know that it might take over your whole bottle of container, so I'm still thinking about this. But here I'll have some extra broccoli, some purple napa cabbage, and some arugula that I will probably plant later. But let's get started planting these guys first. So I'm going to stack this GreenStalk next to the other one with my old spinner back there on top of it. So that one's going to be the bottom because it's closer, and then this guy's going to be on top. So I want to plant the bigger plants in the bottom. I had my original GreenStalk plan to put the cauliflowers in the bottom because they tend to get much bigger than the broccoli, but my starts are so tiny, I'm a little afraid that they're just going to get shaded. So I might be moving a few things around just to see how it's going to go. Definitely those two baby ones I'll put a bit more towards the top, but I'll start with some of the bigger ones in the bottom, I think. So let's start here. I also tend to kind of forget to rotate these guys sometimes, so I like to also plant some of the more shade tolerating things, or like flowers. I think they won't mind being in the shade so much in the back, just in case I forget to give like a quarter turn every day before I leave for work. So I think that I'm going to plant then the bigger ones in the front, and then we're going to figure out about the back later. So maybe I'll try one cauliflower. We'll see. Hopefully I'm not sacrificing it too much. I'll put one cauliflower here and two kale, the bigger ones, and then we're gonna move on with the broccoli. This is gonna be sort of out of the plan, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna do it a bit by feeling here. This is a cheddar cauliflower. I love buying these at the farmer's market, and I grew this 1 year, but I bought starts. So hopefully now that she's transplanted, she'll be a bit happier outside and maybe grow a little more. But let's do one cauliflower, then there's two huge kales next to it. I really hope it doesn't shade too much, but if I might just keep harvesting it and eating the outer leaves to give it some space until it's ready to get a little bigger, until the cauliflower gets a little bigger. So we'll see, but we'll do that for now. What's the other big one? We'll do the two biggest ones in the bottom. This one I will tease the roots a bit. I should have done the same there, but I was talking. It's always good to separate them a bit if you can. I'm going to start with 3 for this first tier, and then keep planting the other ones and see how much I have left until I decide what I'm going to put in the back. So I'll put a broccoli here. Maybe I will do a cauliflower. Let's just hope for the best. Hope that she makes it. Hopefully without this fertilizer and more sun, she'll be okay. Alternate and do another broccoli. So let's do broccoli, and cauliflower, like I had it on my original plan. Put a small kale in here too. Kales do get big because they get long and tall. So do that pattern again. Let's do broccoli, cauliflower, broccoli. See how that looks. Tiny baby cauliflower. I'm hoping for the best for this guy. If these tiny cauliflowers don't make it, they never grow, I will just take them out and put something else. But I like to try and just see what happens. It might give just some tiny baby cauliflower, might not grow at all, it might be stunted. And on the top, I'm gonna put a flower. I have some more beets, so I'm gonna do the beets on the top also. So I'm gonna alternate the beets and the flowers in here on the top. Here it is. I'm not feeling good about those two cauliflowers. If they don't do really good, I'm going to put a couple cabbages, of those purple cabbages in here instead. We'll see. But now I'm going to water everything in. The soil is looking a little low, even though I used the 1 cubic feet. I might add a tiny bit more since I have an extra bag in some of those guys. And then it's good to have leave a little bit space in the middle to put the watering discs. But let me add just a little bit more soil in here this time. Water in. Don't need to water too much because again I'm going to do the watering system after. But I love this new color, so pretty. I love the green. I think it will look very nice against this fence here. Okay, now let's just set up the watering disc. So we want all these little holes here to be facing the pockets. And this is the top, so it gets the water reservoir after. Here it goes. Now we're just going to stack them up. I'm going to put it over here on the mover. When you put them up, make sure they click once they are assembled. That's it. Now let's get this water. We're going to water here until water starts coming out of the bottom. And this is the integrated water system that comes with the GreenStalk. So you water here, then the water goes through all the discs and waters all of the pockets evenly. My reservoir is getting kind of full here. I'm going to water my second one while I wait for some water to come down. This one I just put it together like last week, I think, or over a week ago. It looks so good. Even without cold nights, it did okay. See the water coming from the bottom there? Once you see some water coming out, it's definitely time to stop. And that's it. Our brand new GreenStalk is ready, looking really good. I think still that the soil is a little low, the soil level, so once I get compost, I will add a little bit more. I really like to keep mine nice and full. That's how I had success with my past ones for the past 4 years almost. So super exciting. That looks really good. This ones here are looking good too. I have to harvest those flowers, those pansies, to make sure that they keep producing more. I don't want them to go to seed, so I'm going to come here a little later and take them all out. It's a little hard to do it because they're so pretty, but they just encourage them to bloom even more. The beets in here, they're growing slow, but I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of a green growth in here, but that means that it has finally started growing back again. I will fertilize them maybe in the next week or so, but just added brand new potting soil, so I'm not too worried about fertilizing right away. But I think they're both looking really good. So this one is also on my spinner, so I can rotate it around. And then we can add some of these other seedlings that I have here once they are finished acclimating. I put them in this shadow here because it was getting a little bit too sunny, and this is only like the third day of these guys out, so I want them to acclimate nice and slow. So once they're good to go, we're gonna be adding some of them to this beautiful GreenStalk here as well. So super exciting. I can't wait to see how they're both going to turn out this season. Plus my third one that's still here that I'm going to be putting up in May. But I really love this green color. It's very pretty. I'm definitely gonna miss my brown and my red one, but I think this is gonna look nice next to each other. Also, I have one more thing planned. I think I'm gonna do the 2 greens in there, and I'm going to move this beautiful basket weave one to that corner in the summer, because it's a mess right now, but I really plan to take some time to organize this because it's gonna get a little shady, and a lot of the stuff on that basket weave likes the shade, so I think it'll do well there, so I don't have to replant it. So we'll try, and I think it'll look very nice next to my beautiful lettuce and greens one over there. So imagine those 2 in there, and then over here it's gonna have 2 beautiful green ones. Oh, there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and I almost forgot. I'm actually going to put an insect cover on this GreenStalk over here, the green one, because I planted a bunch of brassicas in here, and I tend to have aphids really early in the season, and I don't want to chance it with these guys. So I'm going to get my insect cover from GreenStalk and put it on once it dries out a little bit more. I might even put on both of them for now because I'm going to use it without the supports, and usually when I do that it fits too, just so nothing goes there and start eating my stuff, since it's still early in the season and still pretty cold. I haven't seen many bugs in here yet, but I want to avoid the aphids landing there, and also those dreaded cabbage moths that also tend to come a little bit later in the season. So I'm definitely going to be using my insect cover for that one. And let's just take a quick look how the GreenStalk up here is doing. So these guys are pretty cold hardy. They're looking really good. This planter now is really heavy because we also had a lot of rain, but try to turn it. Ooh! So you can see the other side too, but so far so good, and I think I see a lot of growth. It's looking pretty nice to me. We have some nice forecasts for this week, so hopefully they will grow even more. And some of the radishes that I planted over here are starting to pop up as well, so super exciting. The radishes over here have all germinated too, mostly germinated too, despite the cold as well, and I have 1 pea shoot coming up. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time.